All right, y'all, we are back with another video. And before we start, please put prayers for Donald Trump in the comment section. We must protect President Trump at all times. Even if y'all see the shirt right here, never surrender. Salute to Brandon Tatum, the Officer Tatum on YouTube. Love this shirt right here, man. This is a true fighter right here, Donald Trump. So we get to this video right here where Tucker Carlson just shocked the mess out of Donald Trump. Even though Donald Trump already know about how fake Kamala Harris is, she's lying. She's just telling people everything they want to hear just so they can try to elect her back in office. This woman is a fraud. And you're gonna hear Tucker Carlson just straight go off on Kamala Harris and expose all of her lies. Even more lies that left Donald Trump shocked. And that's why this one by Tucker Carlson just blew the lid on the Kamala Harris campaign. So like I said, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this, y'all. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And speaking of exposing the left, well, as you guys very well know, there's very few people who are as good or as talented as a man named Tucker Carlson. You know, I'm alright. I do okay. I really do try my best, but I'm certainly no Tucker. You just gotta give respect and credit where respect and credit is due. And well, Tucker Carlson's a man that never fails to deliver, and that's exactly what he did here in response to Kamala Harris's DNC speech, her nomination acceptance speech. Tucker Carlson breaks the internet with the best take of the day. Let me show you guys exactly what he said and of course why I think it's relevant, important, and of course factual. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I pretty much laid out the groundwork, right? Kamala Harris acceptance speech, Tucker Carlson reaction, put the two together and you got based content. Take a look.
Consider what he intends to do if we give him power again. Consider his explicit intent to set free violent extremists who assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol.
Oh my God.
His explicit intent to jail journalists, political opponents, and anyone he sees as the enemy.
Can I just interject here for a second? This woman's really scary. She could easily get elected president. She's much more skillful than I have ever seen. She's a liar on the deepest level.
Exactly.
The things she is saying right now are not just untrue, they're the opposite of the truth, which is the hallmark of evil. She's an extremist. She'll say anything.
Yep.
She's much more like Gavin Newsome than I ever realized. I could go through a whole litany of why what she's saying is not true. It wasn't an armed mob. There was not one person inside the Capitol with a firearm, period. The only person who was shot in the Capitol was an unarmed woman shot by one of Nancy Pelosi's bodyguards. So again and again, she's telling us that she fought the cartels to secure the border. She's the border czar, and the border is controlled by the cartels.
She argued that Donald Trump, quote, tried to throw away your votes. Didn't the Democrat Party just throw away all the votes and install her?
Yep.
Well, exactly.
And installed her.
She's saying that Donald Trump will free from prison violent extremists.
That's what she's trying to do.
Like 75-year-old lower middle class women with diabetes, when she endorsed defunding the police and opening the prisons to allow actual criminals out, which is why the crime rate has spiked, to allow the population of Venezuela's prisons, Caracas's prisons, are now living in the United States because of her. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't want to sound like I'm whining or fact-checking, which I hate, but what she's saying is the mirror image of the truth. She doesn't care. She's got no reference points in the truth, and she's an extremist. And she's a former prosecutor, and no former prosecutor should hold power, period. I've covered them my whole life. I've intensely disliked every single one of them for good reason. I think they're scary, they're liars, and they're megalomaniacal. And they put people in prison for political reasons. I've seen it again and again and again, and she's one of them.
It's just the perfect clip.
Exactly.
It's the rational reaction. You know, once again, we're in this very odd situation where the media is trying to fabricate reality. Supposedly, Kamala Harris's speech was the greatest ever, but obviously it was anything but. Kamala Harris took to the stage not to unite the country, but to further drive a wedge, using deceitful fear-mongering tactics to push an agenda that is fundamentally at odds with basic reality. Kamala Harris's speech was rife with accusations, but of course, as per usual, lacking in substance. She accuses Donald Trump of tearing apart the fabric of the nation. Yet it's her and her party's policies that continue to undermine the very foundations of the republic. Donald Trump wants to release violent extremists from jail. You see what I mean when I say
Just
Hollywood?
lying.
It's all freaking Hollywood. When she says that, she's referring to mostly peaceful protesters who in many cases have been overcharged and thrown in prison either for crimes they didn't commit or based on a totally twisted legal theory that the Supreme Court just reversed. And she has the audacity to say this when in fact we know for a fact that Kamala Harris has a track record of releasing actual violent people from prisons.
A group that Vice President Kamala Harris urged followers to support helped free an alleged domestic abuser who is now accused of murder. Minneapolis police say George Howard shot another driver in an act of road rage. He was out on bond posted last month by the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Now that is the same group Harris got behind last summer.
Yep.
I was robbed. They tried to run me over with a getaway car. He almost killed me right over here. He was laughing as he fractured my skull.
Amanda's attacker was an illegal immigrant drug dealer arrested twice before, but released by San Francisco DA Kamala Harris.
If Kamala Harris hadn't let him out, this never would have happened to me.
In a press release announcing the arrest of Thomas Mosley on low-level drug charges, the Hennepin County attorney called out the Minnesota Freedom Fund for bailing Mosley out of jail twice previously, even though he was arrested for having a gun in the courthouse and subsequent search warrants found at least 7 firearms. The Freedom Fund raked in donations after the death of George Floyd when it was promoted by many, including now Vice President Kamala Harris, to help bail protesters out of jail.
It's absolutely backwards. But most importantly, it's yet again just an emotional manipulation. That's really what it is. You have clearly deceitful, dishonest people who are willing to say whatever it is to get elected. Kamala Harris knows that she can't run on any of this. This graphic that I'm displaying on the screen, by the way, this is the true track record of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden over the last 4 years. Democrats know they can't run on this.
See, that's the thing right there. I'm up here listening to this woman talk. That's why I said her speech, her whole entire speech was a freaking lie. Talking about Donald Trump gonna let criminals out of jail when she's the one that's trying to let criminals out of jail. She's the one who did let a person. Look at the name that was just on screen. That fracture a woman's skull. And what did Kamala Harris do? She let him out of jail. The same person that the rider that burned down Minneapolis, she let him out of jail. But then she get on here talking about Donald Trump is gonna let criminals out of jail when she the one who running on this crap. She the one who wants to let criminals out of jail. She is so focused. That's the thing right there. She put people that's in prison first before the people who actually out here in the real world that's doing something that's not getting in trouble or anything like that. She don't care about us. Only thing she care about is getting criminals out of jail. Look at this right here. Biden and Harris accompaniments allow 15 million unvetted illegals into the country. Historic inflation crisis. Record high gas prices in all 50 states. And we all know about them gas prices. For 3.5 years, this woman did nothing for us. Nothing. And all of a sudden, we supposed to elect her, give her 4 more years for what she can do the same crap? And then you got a man who want to put tampons in boys' bathrooms, who let his city burn down and did nothing about it, lying about his military background. The man who actually dropped out and didn't go to Iraq or Afghanistan and just let his crew go by themselves and dropped out. I mean, come on. This woman is sitting here just straight telling lies. If you watch the DNC, the whole entire speech is like everybody up there. Donald Trump was mentioned probably 300 times in 4 days. There was no policies. They weren't saying what they're going to try to do to fix the country. Nothing. It was just Donald Trump this. If we elect Donald Trump, this right here is going to happen. Then you got Michelle Obama and Barack Obama playing the race card, trying to say Donald Trump a racist. This is the stuff they trying to push, because they can't talk about this record right here. They weren't going to show this record right here on screen at the DNC. All they want to do is talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump haven't even been in office. They've been in office 3.5 years and ain't did nothing, and try to blame Donald Trump for what they're doing. It's like, get out of here with that. Then look at this right here. Record high consumer debt. Release terrorists into the country. Ukraine and the Russian war. Israel and the Hamas war. Disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Violent crime skyrocketing. Tried to jail political rival in name of democracy. Exactly what they still trying to do. Trying to put Donald Trump in jail. Tried to take the man out. All type of stuff. Putting them in cold courtrooms. You got, what her name, Hillary Clinton, talking about Donald Trump got 34 felonies when she should have been a felon. When she deleted those emails, she should have been in jail. But Donald Trump didn't lock her up. He didn't want to do it. But yet, he didn't do it, so now they want to do it to him. And now Hillary Clinton want to make fun of him when she should have been the one in jail because of them emails. It just don't make any sense. Lied to the American public about Joe's decline. Kamala Harris was behind this because she wanted to take Joe Biden's place this entire time. She knew he was in decline. She knew all about this man. And now all of a sudden they showing all this fake love. We love you, Joe. If y'all love Joe Biden, and then everybody that got on that stage kept saying how Joe Biden did a good job and all of that. If Joe Biden did a good job and wasn't nothing wrong with him, why did y'all push him out and just install Kamala Harris? She wasn't voted in. Nobody voted for her. Y'all just installed her. I mean, come on. Declare a war on the American energy. Record low test scores from K to 12 students. Most unpopular president and VP in history. This is Biden and Harris compliments.
And so instead, what do? They push this fear-mongering nonsense. Our political opponents are a threat to the nation. They're violent extremists. That's not a policy plan. That's just anti-Trump hysteria, and a lot of people understand this.
She wasn't clear enough on the policies. She did speak a lot of her personal history, which was great, but I still don't feel like she's ready. I feel like more so she should wait. I don't want to, per se, vote for someone that is a backup.
All right. No policy, just orange man bad.
Exactly. That's the thing. She didn't have any policy. She had a 40-minute speech and didn't mention one policy. And when she did mention a policy before this DNC, it was trying to steal from Donald Trump's no tax on tips. Even this guy right here saying she's not ready, which she's not. She have no policies. The only policy she had was hating Trump and lying on him. People brung a gun to the building. When yet you heard Nancy Pelosi on tape saying it was her fault, not Donald Trump. But yet they're still trying to say it's Donald Trump's fault. After video showed Nancy Pelosi saying she could have did, she should have did something, it was her fault. She admitted to it. And they still blaming J6 on Donald Trump. Well, he sunk the national troops, and Nancy Pelosi was the one who said no. But then now they trying to blame it on Donald Trump. It just don't make any sense at all.
And of course, building that narrative on a mountain of lies. And I love that Tucker Carlson mentions the fact that Kamala Harris is a prosecutor. I think it's a perfectly reasonable point, and I think it's totally factual. Many prosecutors have some pretty inconsistent relationships with the truth or with facts. Many of the times, these people are more interested in winning in court and preserving their prosecutorial record than they are in the truth. And Kamala Harris obviously has a very, very storied history on this exact issue. And now it just feels like she's trying to translate those skills to her presidential campaign. She'll say anything to get elected. She'll demonize her opponents. She'll say anything as long as it's not related to policy. People are praising that Kamala Harris speech as if it was just so incredible. Look how eloquent and amazing and powerful.
Right, and her speech wasn't even good. She spent like 20 or... Okay, look at this. Her speech was about 40 minutes. And I'm not being funny. Her speech was like 40 minutes. And 30 of those minutes was just her talking about her mom. She was talking about her mom the entire time. And I didn't even hear her say anything about her dad. It was just her mom this, her mom that. We're like, okay, Kamala, if you're going to mention your mom, cool. But you mentioned her about 30 minutes of that with no policies. You talked about your mom and you just bashed Donald Trump and told a whole bunch of lies. Didn't have not one policy and people was sitting there cheering. The woman is not ready to be president. That's why everywhere she goes now, she take her own supporters with it or with her to try to make it seem like everybody love her when they don't. Because when she go in any hostile environments where she don't know where people gonna like her or not, she see exactly what happens. She get heckled all the time. People go off on her. It's like, come on.
powerful she is. I mean, wow, just amazing. But that's not what it was. That was essentially a Rachel Maddow segment. Watching that nonsense was like turning on MSNBC during their primetime hours and just hearing Orange Man bad. I was murdered, Orange Man bad. Donald Trump's a threat to the very existence, to the very fabric of everything that we know and hold dear, and I have heard this freaking shtick a million times over. Yet here they are, beating the same freaking dead horse over and over. This speech was a masterclass in dishonesty. Democrats speak of unity, yet Kamala Harris's words were dripping with contempt for half of the country. Democrats speak of justice, yet they consistently support policies that are anything but. They speak of democracy, yet she and her party are doing everything in their power to undermine it. And it's not even like they're trying to hide it, they're openly laughing about it. Look at Gavin Newsome here, basically saying the quiet part out loud.
There's an intangible, it's different.
How are you feeling about the switch?
I mean, the switch. Now, we went through a very open process, and a very inclusive process. It was bottom up. I don't know if you know that. Yes, that's what I've been told to say.
Yes, it was a blitz primary, I believe that's what they called it.
It's a very, very fast blitz. Yes. I think it was a blink primary, so we call that.
Oh, a 30-minute convention? You know, between a tweet and another tweet.
It's amazing how it happened.
Yeah, it's been...
Oh, well, you know, the people talking about defending democracy this time just decided to skip democracy this time, and now they're laughing about it sarcastically. What a complete and utter joke. This entire campaign, obviously before Kamala Harris, but really the moment Kamala Harris took over, has been probably the most dishonest in American history. You just have these slick Democrats showing up on all of these shows or taking to these podiums and straight up lying. I mean, we just played a Gavin Newsome clip, might as well play another. Take a look at this.
And let's have a real conversation. You want an economic policy to compare and contrast? We know what Trump's is. A 10% tax on the American people on $3.1 trillion of goods, a 60% tax.
Okay, you're talking about tariff. He hasn't laid down an all across the board tariff. He hasn't done that yet, and well, that's not true. Here we go.
Exactly. Now, you see that? Gavin Newsom sent up that line. That's the reason why Donald Trump called him Gavin Newsome. Because that's what he is, a scumbag. He's sitting up here blatantly lying, and you even hear the Fox News host saying, no, that is not true. You ain't finna run that narrative over here like you can go over there to CNN and MSNBC and all of that and run that narrative, because they'll let you do it. Because they don't like Donald Trump. That's why you can go to ABC, NBC, CNN. That's why you can go to them places, because they allow that over there. They allow lies over there. When you get to Fox News like this, that's the reason why Kamala Harris don't want to do a debate, because she knows it's going to be called down the middle. Ain't nobody finna help her. She going to help herself. So that's why she denied this and accepted the debate on ABC. All they do is sit here and lie. Listen to this again. Listen to this lie by Gavin Newsome. Listen to this.
I mean, we just played a Gavin Newsome clip. Might as well play another. Take a look at this.
And let's have a real conversation. You want an economic policy to compare and contrast? We know what Trump's is. A 10% tax on the American people on $3.1 trillion of goods, a 60% tax.
Okay, you're talking about tariff. He hasn't laid down an all across the board tariff. He hasn't done that yet, and that's not true. Here we go. Kamala Harris from California. I want to go down that road because you know her.
Does it get any more misleading than that? Donald Trump supports tariffs on Chinese goods, and Gavin Newsom extrapolates that, or rather manipulates that, to conjure up the most dishonest political talking point I think I've ever witnessed, saying Donald Trump is proposing a 10% tax on everyday goods. Like I keep saying, it doesn't get any more dishonest than this. These people created chaos at the southern border, and now they're running on border security and saying that it's all Donald Trump's fault. These people spent trillions upon trillions of dollars in excess over the last 4 years and created a hyperinflation crisis, and now they're blaming it on grocery stores rather than their idiotic Keynesian economic policies. They talk about democracy, but they obviously have contempt for democracy. They talk about unity, but they obviously have contempt for 50% of the nation. I'm frustrated, I'm confused, I'm stunned. I'm not dooming, because I understand that this election is anything but close to over, but I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, I mean, if these numbers are even close to correct, if this election is even somewhat competitive, or if Kamala Harris manages to win here based on what the Democrats are engaging in, first of all, how? And secondly, how do you move on from that? I don't think I could think of anything more demoralizing. If the Democrats get elected on the back of all these lies, if the people fall for it, I really don't know if there's any going back. If the electorate gets compromised to the extent of voting for communism because orange man bad, well then I really don't know if there's any going back. Frankly, if there's enough stupid people to fall for this crap and put these people in power, it's over. The people have been compromised. The people are too stupid. The education system has failed to a degree where the Democrats can simply manipulate millions upon millions of people by dangling shiny things in front of their face. You know, I can't think of anything more demoralizing. It just can't happen. I can't believe that it's gonna happen. I cannot accept it. It cannot happen. Kamala Harris is straight up a malicious liar. That's it. That's the conclusion of her DNC speech.
Salute to Liberal High Mind. Make sure y'all go over to his channel. Hit that subscribe button over there. Let him know Adogg sent you. He does a great job. I definitely had to check out these clips right here. Especially, I mean, Tucker Carlson. He just really exposed, like, look, man, you're sitting up here lying. This woman is dangerous. She is extreme leftist. She is very, very dangerous. She's not ready to be president. She have no policies. She ain't did any interviews. She ain't did anything. She barely even want to talk to reporters. All she want to do is talk at her campaigns and at the DNC, because guess what? It ain't nobody there to correct her on her lies. It ain't nobody going back and forth with her so she get to spew out all them lies and not be corrected. So now she's been running from an interview, so we still waiting on that interview. I mean, it just don't make any sense at all. But, man, we must get President Trump back in the White House. We got to get out and vote. Please vote Trump. This is your shirt right here. Never surrender. But like I said before, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all later.